interestingly, when you meet some people like Trevor, some of the things they like to remember is what you're trying to forget. We grew up in Santa Cruz. Lacano. Trevor, Lacano area. Your home was Lacano?
Yeah.
He was from Lacano. I was from Kurukai. And the Adventist church was like, it's about 4 houses from buildings from where I used to live. So I would see him on Sabbath. We went to school together, and of course, we used to run also together. He was a marathon and I was a 100 meter. We never competed there. But it's interesting what religion does to you. Religion it does affect you so much. So even though we'd have fun in school, running and laughing and playing, and make fun of him on Saturday. That's what religion can do to you. I grew up in a Catholic-oriented home. So it was strange to see people going to church on Saturday in the 70s, 70s, and that was odd. Saturdays when you go to the market and you clean your yard, and mommy makes soup. You remember Saturday soup there? Yeah. Soup there long ago. And to see this guy walking up the street, and he was in Pathfinders. He looked stupid. Come on, Joe. Come on. It's been a while since I stood behind his desk. This used to be a familiar spot. Not so? Lisa? Aye. Used to be a familiar spot a couple of years ago. Thanks for the help, I finished. I did my studies for my doctoral degree here at Mondo. Then Pastor Riley was here. And I worked closely with the church. So I'm back today. Actually, I had to decline Trevor's request to be here this morning because I was at Gasparillo speaking for their Thanksgiving. Hectic weekend, very hectic weekend. We're here today focusing on this thing called music. And the other past, he tried to incite me and ask me if I'm playing. And Trevor didn't put me on the program. I don't know why. He's still taking, he tried to get back at me from my old fatigue. I noticed you all in the back, Trevor. I looked at your program this morning. I was following it on YouTube, and I see you have enough music here in Mongo. So, Pasi, I have to decline. Talking about music, actually, this is one of some people would call it one of the sore spots or tender spots in my experience. Just about earlier this year, I went to St. Lucia. I was asked to be in St. Lucia to do some lay training. The personal ministries director invited me to St. Lucia to speak to the laity about sermon preparation and all the likes connected to preaching, because He was my past student, and my main area of emphasis in USC is preaching, homiletics. So I was asked to do this series, and the climax of the series in St. Lucia, I was preaching for the Festival of the Laity, and I made some comments about music and musicians, and it actually went viral. I don't know if anybody in this space would have known about it. Folks started flying after me like volunteers, beginning with Seventh-day Adventists, and it went like really a wildfire about what I said about music and musicians. And in a nutshell, the statement was, and still is, that there are people in church who are here on the platform here playing music on a Sabbath. In some churches, it will be a Sunday to them. They play here Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, playing keyboard and drums. And when sun sets, Saturday night, they all playing in clubs. Some playing for carnival. And the thing is, some playing in bars and backing up singers and all of that. And primarily, it is for one, money. So I made a statement about that you can't be in the river on the bank. You can't be playing in Heaven's Choir on Sabbath and Saturday night. You're playing with Satan's chorale. And some folks went to town on me on that. One of the things that bothered me, and still bothers me, with this thing, it seems to be, I was talking to Ryan Center after that, and I told him, I was beginning to think, like if you are a musician, and I'm dealing with musicians in church, like when you're in music, like musicians belong to a special order. Musicians and singers belong to a special order. And it amazed me. I said to him, I wish pastors would relate to pastors the way musicians relate to musicians. Because musicians and singers defend each other, even when they know what they're doing is wrong. I said, I have seen pastors actually go after pastors and, pull them down and want to expose them and all this kind of stuff. But musicians and singers, they're like, it's a kind of it's almost like a cult. Come on. And the thing is, what amazed me about the whole scenario, and Debbie Ferreira actually invited me to be on a panel discussion. I was on Zoom and they were up in Balandra when they had a music workshop coming out of that to come and see what I said. And you know what amazes me about it? I'll get to the substantive in a while. Is that there are musicians in church, probably some in here, who know about other musicians playing outside, and they don't sing, they don't do anything, and they come and they sit together and play together in church, and they know that their friend playing with Marshall Montana. They know. And I am not telling you what I don't know. I know it. Because some of them are spoken to me. They know their friends going outside and play. And then the same friend will entice them to come and play because it has good money. So you don't get paid in church. Sometimes you don't even get amen. You don't get thanks in church. Hardly likely you come and you play in Mondo and it's music day and stuff, and most likely you get some food. Who is passing or saying, Pastor Manzano, you playing, don't kill you. You get some food, you get amen. You might get criticism if you crack on a note. Nobody helps you get your guitar strings. They don't care about you getting soundtracks, the singers. It doesn't bother. It's almost like, okay, that's your gift and your service to the Lord. And that affects musicians and singers. Because the people outside, beginning with people from other denominations, when they play outside on a Sunday, in a Sunday church, they get paid. Come on. You all know what I'm talking about. You know, like everybody like, what is Pastor Manzano saying? You know, the musicians in the end know that.
Yes, we know.
They get paid. Because you see, those folks have a different philosophy. For them, musicians are part of the ministry, so they pay their musicians, you know. And in the Adventist church, music is an office, a service, you know, it's thanks. And from that, it evolves into, you play with Marshall Manzano and Ecstatic, and you know, I learned through that same conversation that the wizard behind Marshall Manzano's music was an ex-Adventist from South. The wizard. And a lot of people don't seem to understand, as I said in St. Lucia, that musicians and singers belong to a vulnerable group, more vulnerable than any other group in church. Because nobody comes to your church to ask your deacon to come over to their church to clean. Come on.
Yes, sir.
They might ask a pastor or elder to come and preach, but they're not going to ask your superintendent to come and conduct a service, but they'll ask your singers to come and sing. And they'll ask your musicians to come and play. And if you do a good survey about the primarily black people, do a good survey and you realize the top singers, R&B, top singers, black singers in America primarily, all came out of church. Oh, Stevie Wonder, Beyonce, come on. Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, come on. Boys to Men, all of them. Because what the world does, I'm using the world in context, the world spies on the church.
Yes, sir. That's right.
And when they see talent, they come after it and offer you big money. And a lot of musicians and singers don't have the strength to resist. Yeah. See, amen don't pay bills.
That's right.
That will cost money. Those things. What are those? $7,000 or $6,000 for a tenor. You know, money don't pay bills. Amen don't pay bills. And these things have to tune. Oh, let me stop. You get the point, people? So the musicians and singers belong to a vulnerable group. Very competitive, very challenging, very difficult. It's very difficult for some people to remain faithful and just committed to playing music for God's glory. Because they can get rich outside. And in church, it's very difficult to play music in church. I'm talking as a somebody who grew up in it. I grew up in music. Santa Cruz. Grew up in Paran. Grew up in it. And at 15 I was playing band with a band in Blanchard, Nightingale, then the Potential. Played. My two brothers and my sister passed away. They played with All Stars. Our whole family could form a band. You know, so I know the power of music. I used to drum for Barataria Best Village Council, and we won Best Village many times. Come on, you understand what I'm saying? So I know the power of it. I played drums till a lady fell down and couldn't catch herself. You know, I say again, power. I played drums. I used to play drums in Barataria. I went to Haiti and drummed in a voodoo ceremony.
Mercy.
I know what drums could do. So when I was pastoring Cleveland Temple, I'm upstairs as the intern with Pastor Tobias, and I'm hearing the drummers downstairs. The drum corps playing a Shango rhythm. You know that rhythm? Doom, 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 to doom, to doom, 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 to doom, to doom, to. You hear drummers playing it? As the intern pastor, I ran down and told them, stop! You playing with voodoo. Mercy. So when Pastor Manzano speaks, a lot of people feel that he's talking from a pastor perspective. I'm talking from a life perspective. I've been there. And it's very difficult, I'm saying, to play music in church. I'll tell you one of the reasons it's very difficult to play music in church. Because a musician comes to a keyboard, a musician, and the musician knows a lot of music, a lot of runs, a lot of stuff. But here, you just have to play basic stuff. Come on, are you with me? Nothing I'm speaking is in my notes, nothing. So that when these guys have the guitar and they know stuff, they can make all the run, all the minor, all the augmented scales and all of that, all the jazz scales, they can do it. But then they have to sit down there and play Almighty Fortress is of God. You know, it's like, what on earth did I learn all of this skill for? Can't play it. Come on. So that when the people outside pastor tell them, you can come outside and express yourself. They go, oh, come on, you know what I'm talking about, right? You know. So when them guys practicing home with the bass, they're not practicing, you know, 1 and 5 and 1 and 3, you know, and all of that. No, it's jazz, scales, and run, because they're listening to audios, you know, doom, 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 doom. And when they come in churches, doom, doom. So that frustrated them. And then somebody asked them to come in and show off the skills. And they get paid. And they bite. Pan is it too. Because Pan was born out of competition. Come on.
Oh, yeah. Yes,
Pan is competition.
Yeah.
And it takes really discipline for a panist to come in church and just play simple gospel. That is why anytime you see a pan man go behind his pan, he must gallery. Come on, must play some little run and because it is competitive. You're supposed to show your skill. But when you're serving Jesus, it's not about showing skill. About praising him. Amen. See, you can't show off Jesus and show off yourself at the same time. The hard